Stoked. Hey guys, Spencer Lazara joined Google Hangout here with The Last Samurai, Mr. Louis Smolka. Man, um, big fight for you. May 10th, going down UFC Fight Night, taking on a veteran, a real veteran in the sport, Chris Cariaso. What were your thoughts upon taking this fight with him?
I really like it style-wise. I think I have a lot of advantages. Like my range, my strength, my size. I think it's gonna play really well for me. I'm feeling really, really good about this fight, especially because it'll get me into the top 10.
Pretty crazy. I mean, we talked about this before, how sort of the depth in the flyweight division is still relatively small. So, like you said, this fight can really jump you up in the ranks and put you in line for the top contenders in the division. Where do you feel like you would fit in? You feel like you can sneak in towards that top five with an impressive victory?
If I finish them, definitely. If I can get like a really nice finish, I can probably crack the top 10 or maybe like six or seven. I don't know. I'm not really sure where I'll end up because, not really sure what the criteria is, but I would think I would rank around sixth or seventh.
Your last fight, I would say he probably was more of a heavy hitter, a little stronger
Yeah.
of a wrestler. You were able to combat both of those things. What does Chris bring? Maybe a little more combinations and just his experience. What does he bring to the table
Um,
that is dangerous?
yeah, he has experience. Another thing that he brings too is he's a southpaw. That's always kind of tricky when you go against a southpaw. It's like a new angle. It's not something I'm really used to, but I'm feeling really confident. I developed a lot of good combinations. All my sparring partners have been left-handed for this camp, so I'm feeling pretty good about this.
How has that been out there? Because I know you guys don't have a huge group of guys. Did you have to go out and find some southpaws?
Oh no, everybody just switched stances. Everybody's learning southpaw right now.
That can be a benefit to them. All the
Yeah,
guys
that's
you
what I was
have, though,
saying.
you're still kind of the small guy in the group out there, though.
Yeah, I'm the smallest one weight class wise, but I'm one of the tallest height wise.
Who have been the main guys, Russell those guys?
Yeah, Russell Doan, Mark Tupas, Laurentin Anez, Edward Thomas. Those have been my main guys helping me get ready.
And fighting on this in an interesting area. I mean, a place I'm guessing you've never been out there.
No, I haven't. I've never been to Cincinnati. I'm looking forward to it. I heard they have good chili, so I'm looking forward to that after the fight.
What are your favorite foods to eat? Junk food wise.
Oh, junk food. I love chips, pizza, Taco Bell. Um, what else? Love sushi, even though that's not really a junk food, but I love sushi. Um, there we have like Hawaiian food here too. I love Hawaiian food. That's about it. We
When
eat
you're
pretty
in
much
camp, though, is it extremely strict for you, or how is that weight cut for you? I know we talked last time. You said it's not actually that difficult, despite your height.
I've been eating some horrible, horrible things up until about a week ago. And I'm around 142 pounds right now.
Just able to your body type, just able to kind of get it off quick when you're training extra hard.
Yeah, I mean, I've always been a skinny kid. I kind of like, as soon as I start watching my diet, like maybe putting in some more fruits and stuff, vegetables, the weight just melts right off. It's like not that big a deal.
Mhm. A lot of guys are doing the salt bath thing these days. What are your methods in terms of cutting weight?
Um, we mostly do the saunas. I'll sauna for maybe like, um, first rounds, well, last time we did it like this, I'll do a 20-minute sauna session, which sucked, and then come out for I think 10, and they would wrap me in the towels until I stop, or for the 10 minutes. Then I'd go in for 15, come out for like 7.5, wrap me in towels, go in for 10, come out for 5, and then do 5, and then I was like already on weight.
Mhm.
But you know me, I'm kind of a cheater, so then I end up drinking water that night, then we got to do it again.
I mean, I would think that it'd be nice to cut, to make the weight the day of the weigh-in, and you're at a dehydrated state uh, as little time as possible. But a lot of guys seem to like to cut most of it the night before. Can you talk?
Yeah. Um, Well, I guess that would be more like with time frames, Nobody wants to be that last dude in the sauna freaking out, trying to be like oh
Yeah.
my God, I gotta get this last like quarter of a pound or like 2 pounds off, and I got like 5 minutes before like the shuttle leaves, and like we gotta be at the weigh-in site, you know. So nobody wants to be that guy, you know what I mean? Like you don't like it's not a good situation. So I think that's why a lot of people do it. Also, like a lot of times you end up floating weight, and then you can rehydrate a little bit, eat, and then like you'll end up like maybe like 2 pounds or a pound and a half under. You can have some fruit, get some liquids back in your system, and then you just you make weight.
Yeah. Talk about Bagotinov getting this title shot in your weight class against the champion there, Demetrius.
It's something I've thought about, but I would think it'd be a while off, maybe like at least like 6 months to a year. So it's not a big thing for me right now. I mean, I'd like to fight him, but he's really, really fast. But I feel like I have a lot of ways I could combat that, you know. I mean, he would have to cover an extreme amount of distance to get in with my range, because what is he, like 5'2" or something? So he'd have to, like, he'd be at such a range disadvantage. He would have to cover so much distance. I think I would be able to hit him a few times before he was able to, like, come in and get out, you know.
How do you think the matchup between him and Bagotinov will play out? Another small guy like him. They're powerful.
Um, Bagutinov, I would think his best bet to win would be with leg locks. Because he's a Sambo guy, they have good leg locks. I would think he should try to like somehow funnel Demetrius into situations where they're in like 50-50, or try to leg lock him somehow, you know, expose his legs. That being said, leg locks aren't exactly high percentage, especially in MMA. But I mean, you never know. Um, what else? He likes to throw the right hand, but I don't know. I could see Demetrius slipping that and taking him down a lot of times, like he did with Benavidez. Or well, Benavidez is left hand, sorry. But yeah, he just slipping the backhand and taking him down.
Um, and then the 35ers. I want to get your thoughts on that. The title fight between Barao and Dillashaw. How do you see that one playing out? Who do you see winning?
I honestly think Barao is a little bit big for Dillashaw. I think he might just be a little bit too much for him. Dillashaw is good, man. Don't get me wrong. We fought on the same card last time. He really impressed me. He like with that switching stances and stuff. That was insane to watch. But I mean, I don't know. I think Barao is just a little too much for him.
Striking.
Yeah, striking, also like the range, man. Range is a big issue, especially now in MMA, because the ground game isn't as like imposing as it was before. Before, like you needed to know the ground game. Now guys are finding ways around it with range striking, quick get ups. You know, they're finding ways around like a dominant ground game. So yeah.
You feel like at the lower weights, though, the range is a little more nullified than, let's say, John Jones, for instance, against Glover Teixeira, because of the speed that you guys possess and the ability to sort of close the distance at a faster rate?
Well, there is that, but you gotta. I don't know. Maybe you could say that. You could say that it is. There are the little guys are quicker, but you gotta also understand that the guy that's bigger is also gonna be quicker too. You know what I mean? He's also gonna be faster. So the range would be nullified, but it's still like both guys are still really fast, really high percentage. So I'd say it's kind of like a fraction thing. You know what I mean? Like he has like I have 2/3 of reach on him, so it would kind of translate the same.
You talked to me about your nerves, and you said you kind of like the nerves that you have going into a fight. Can you talk about that and how you use those nerves, as a positive thing?
I think it keeps me smart, you know, like I'm always nervous and stuff before fights, but I think it keeps me smart. And what I really do is I try and focus myself. I try and think, okay, what do I need to do to avoid getting clipped? Okay, I need to stay smart. I need to watch for certain angles. I need to just stay calm, stay focused, know to move. If he does hit me, I plan the whole thing out. If he hits me, I'm gonna dive on this leg and try to circle out this way and then keep, like, I plan the whole thing out. I think that's good for me. You know, it puts me in a I get more comfortable like that.
What did you think about Brad had a little bit of a disappointing fight, of course.
Yeah.
Yoel Romero's just a beast, but then we had Max, kind of follow it up with an impressive performance there, and I know he's a buddy of yours.
Yeah, Max is my boy, dude. I was stoked, man. He was doing that guillotine, like we were kind of like during this it's like not like kind of like sparring, playing out the fight. Every time I would go in for the takedown, he'd do that guillotine, and I would always do that spin out because man, that thing is tight, dude. That guillotine is really tight the way he throws.
It's almost like that John Jones we saw in Machida, sort of, where you're getting here, getting real
Yeah,
deep.
with the prayer choke, Max, I'm not sure what grip he uses. He kind of uses it, but I think he kind of pulls upward instead of pushing upward.
That was impressive, man. I think that was his first submission too, right, in the UFC.
I believe it was, yeah, in the UFC, I think it was his first submission. I think professionally it was.
That's
He
impressive.
submitted a few guys at the amateur level though, like because we came from like the same kind of smaller amateur circuit. I seen him submit guys before.
Mhm. Well, right on, man. I mean, talk anything else you want to say about your preparation for this fight and how you see it playing out?
I see myself finishing like I always do. I always go out there for the finish. I always go out there to make it exciting. So I'm just gonna do my best. I see it happening again, but you never know. I'm sure Chris has something to say about that. Um, I'd just like to thank my sponsors, Defend Hawaii. I'd like to thank our new team. We actually have a new team name. We're called Hawaii Elite MMA. So look out for us. My strength and conditioning, Warhorse Strength. I like Rylan, Lazarus, Charles Kipili, my striking coach. Russell Doan, Lowen, Tynanes, Edward Thomas, Mark Tupas. Thank you all the boys for helping me get ready. And yeah, that's about it. Oh yeah, and also thanks to my manager Jason House, Iridium Sports.
Good dude, right there.
Yeah, that's the man.
A couple more predictions. How do you see Dan Henderson and Daniel Cormier? How do you see that one playing out, and who's going to get their hand raised?
I would say Cormier, but I don't know. Henderson just like I don't know, man. Henderson is tricky, dude. He will, and if he gets a hold of you, he will knock your head clean off. But I'm gonna say Cormier. I feel pretty comfortable with that.
It's hard to say. Dan's so good at
Yeah.
climbing out of these holes, or even being hurt at staying calm and finding a way. That's a good fight. Um,
Yeah, he was going for that against Shogun. He was going for that transition the whole time, that leg lock, slide around, come up, and then he was trying to do it the whole fight, and then he finally just nailed it.
um, Frankie Edgar and your guy BJ Penn going down in July.
BJ's looking pretty good, man. We actually went out there for a little bit. He's looking lean. He's looking pretty good. I'm gonna take BJ, the hometown boys.
Does he have a lot of you guys come in during his
Yeah,
fight?
we're supposed to go back there after my fight. I think we'll see how that goes, but I think we're supposed to go back out there. He's supposedly bringing in Barral and Aldo too, but I'm not sure. So
He's going
that's
to
gonna
bring them
be
to Hawaii, or he's going to go back down to Brazil.
I think both, I think he's bringing them down, then he's gonna go out there, but I'm not 100% sure. That's logistics. I don't. That's not my area. I just show up.
For sure. And then Machida and Chris Weidman also in July.
Mm, I don't know. That one's a tricky one. That one's a coin flip. I don't know. I'd say Weidman just because he's a champ right now. But I don't know. Machida's style is tricky. We'll see how they approach it because Weidman seems like he's just like phenomenal right now. But yeah, I'll say Weidman. I'll say Weidman.
Do you have a worst date ever story? Something interesting in your years of
I
being
like
a player?
my years of being a fighter.
A player. Doesn't I was being funny there.
I have like a worst date.
Yeah, like
I
a
have like a
story where it's just like you went on this date and it was just like it was all bad. Anything?
I'm not really I have a worst day ever when I broke my jaw. I can tell you that one.
How'd that happen?
It was my senior year of high school. Went to the beach after high school, and this kid who I was hanging out with, he was sand sliding. That's when like he kind of like when after the waves wash up on shore. They pull back, you can kind of slide. I guess everybody knows what sand sliding is, but sand slid, and then he kind of sand slides like a girl with his knees dangling off the side of the board, like how girls ride horses side saddle. He kind of rode the bodyboard like that, and I was body surfing, and then I came up, and his knees went right into my face, like we kind of collided. Knees went right into my face, and all I could see was pure white. And I crawled up on the beach, and the first thing I see is just this huge glob of blood and pus just come down off my face. I was like, oh, fuck. Pretty sure the first thing I said was, fuck, I can't wrestle.
You could talk, though.
It didn't come out like that. It came out like, oh, I can't wrestle. Like, it didn't come out like that, but yeah.
That's how a fighter. The first thing I'm thinking of, I can't train. Was that the hardest you've ever been hit?
I think so. I believe so. I can't think of any other time where I hit harder than that. Oh, well, maybe the one time I got dropped during a fight, but I got hit pretty hard. That didn't break my jaw. That time I broke my jaw.
You didn't get knocked out. That's a good sign.
I guess. Yeah, that hurt though.
Where you're at, is it mostly coral reefs or is it
No,
a lot of?
there's a lot of sandy beaches. There's a lot of beaches, but you can find reef too if you look for it. Um, it depends on like the areas, but yeah, around where I live, it's a lot of sandy beaches. Real nice, postcard like.
Nice. What do you guys like to do? As far as activities and stuff out there, keeping busy.
Man, well, training mostly consumes my life right now, but in my downtime, I like to play video games, barbecue, go to the beach, body surf a little bit. I'm not really a surfer, but I like to just hang out in the water. Maybe go hiking. Hiking's pretty cool too. There's a lot of cool stuff, waterfalls and things.
Right on, man. All right, well, last things. Anything to close us out?
Thank you for having me, man. It's been good talking to you again.
Always appreciate the time, man. Thanks for coming on, and wish you the best of luck May 10th. I know that's going to be a really quality fight, man, and I'm excited for it.
All right, thank you, Spence.
All right. Louis Smolka, The Last Samurai. Check him out May 10th, Cincinnati, Ohio, UFC Fight Night.